Eh, Like, there we go. All right. I'll get this fixed out eventually. All right. So today I'm just going to go through, or right now, I'm going to go through some of the highlights of the Inflation Reduction Act that was just passed through the Senate here, just to give you guys a little insight about how this works and what they've put in here. Spoiler warning, I don't see how this is going to work. Honestly, I don't. You know, when money printer go burr, I don't see how our American dollar is going to be worth more. Just a little. I don't know. I'm not an economist though, so but over 230 economists actually say this isn't going to help. We'll take a look at that. Little side note: we will be having our conversation tonight with Right Side Lesbian. Abel Garcia will be there, and Freely Ashley will be back on the show. The little short video thing that I did to promote this, it's running at about a good little percentage, and I think people actually do want to hear the conversation. But we'll have that tonight. We should be going live at about 7:30 tonight after we get the sound check and the camera framing and everything like that done. We should be heading into that as well. But I just want to. There's no. Well, yeah, there is point in that right now. But I just wanted to go ahead and hop on this because there's a lot of people talking about this right now, and it's a big thing. It really is. But let's go ahead and head into this. Oh, before we do that, make sure you hit that like button, share this with your friends, so we can reach a wider audience and we can start talking to you guys more. Start getting you on here and asking how you guys feel about this. Start getting more of your opinion. This is why we're here. This is what we're here to do. The green screen's fucking with that people look. Oh, anyway, I will fix all that later. But let's roll into this real quick. All right, so this is coming from the Democrats.senate.gov Inflation Reduction Act of 2022. Now, this bill right here, okay, this thing is 755 pages long. Okay, right there at the top of the screen. What I've highlighted. I'm not going through the entire thing. That'll take all night. And stupidity aneurysms will happen if I do that. No. We're just gonna hit the highlights. We're gonna look at all the little highlights and the summaries and everything like that, just to kind of show you some of what's in here. It's not gonna be everything, but some of what's gonna be in this bill. Now, the Inflation Reduction Act. What is that? $796 billion, I think, was the total. Let's do this. It may tell us in there anyway, but there's a lot of money that's going to be printed within this here. It has a legislative text right there. The summaries is what we're going to be reading, except for this one right here on the environment and public work. It just takes you to their website, and I'm not going to go digging into that. Support. This just shows you the support for the Inflation Reduction Act over and other materials. Okay, this is just saying, hey, everybody loves this. There's no pushback at all. I'm going to show you some that is pushing back. But now, this bill passed through the Senate by a split decision, 50 yeas, 50 nays. It was Kamala Harris that broke the tie. That's what the vice president is for, right? Well, let's just see what she broke the tie for. But before we start reading that, let's go ahead and hear what. Who is this? Top Senate Republican admits the Inflation Reduction Act will not raise tax rates for families earning $400,000. Will it not? Because they're calling for higher taxes already. But go ahead and hear what this asshat has to say.
I will respond to that question about those two issues. One, that it's not raising taxes on certain Americans. Technically, it's not raising their tax rates.
Technically, it's not raising their tax rates. So if it's technically not raising tax rates, what is it raising? By the way, let me ask you guys a serious question. If they have enough money to send upwards of $70 billion to Ukraine, giving subsidies to these companies and doing all these other things with our tax money, and not a damn dime of that really comes back to the American people. By the way, I'll show you why I say not a damn dime. They're actually going to try to take more from you. If they have enough money to do all this, do you feel like they've already taxed you way too much? I mean, honest question. If we can send $70 billion over to Ukraine, if we can give $15 million for gender studies in Pakistan, if we can give $5 million to see if lizards can run on treadmills, yes, that was in a bill. That was in a bill, and I hope you guys remember that. If we can do all that, you feel like they're taxing you too much? Because I do. I really feel like we are being taxed way too much if you can hand out this money willy-nilly like that. But this asshat thinks it's technically not going to raise our taxes. But that comes later, right? Because they're already calling for raising tax rates on everybody that's, what is it? Not 250, 230, 250,000 or more, which we know is a lie because it's still not going to be enough to cover it. And I'll show you a little bit of why I say that as well, because the IRS has a big part of this bill. But let's go ahead and from the Senate Democrats website itself, on August 1st, 2022, Washington, D.C., the Inflation Reduction Act will lower costs, make historic investments in the fight against climate change. Full stop. What does climate change have to do with inflation? Other than the manufactured food crisis, what does climate change have to do with inflation? What does the mass printing of money, the devaluing of the American dollar, have to do with the Earth supposedly getting warmer? Ensure big corporations and the wealthiest few individuals pay their fair share in taxes. They pay more than I do. They pay a higher percentage than I do. Reduce the deficit by printing more money to give to what? How? No, serious question. How? If we're printing more money, how do we reduce the deficit since we're already trillions of fucking dollars in debt? How is printing more going to reduce the deficit? And reduce inflation by printing more money. God damn it, people. This is not brain surgery here, guys. Find quotes below from experts who agree. Yeah, but you're not showing anybody who disagrees. Maya McGinnis, the president of the Committee for Responsible Federal Budget, to fight inflation, we want policies that will increase supply or reduce demand. By increasing supply or reducing demand. How you do that? Well, you take away your buying power. I mean, if you can't buy anything, you increase the supply and you reduce the demand. If you can't buy anything for yourself, the only way to do it, unless you're going to increase manufacturing here in the United States, like the $52 billion that was given to chip manufacturing companies right after Nancy Pelosi's husband sunk $5 million into NVIDIA, and Nancy Pelosi went over to Taiwan for what again? Okay. And this does both. Okay, so basically you're admitting it takes our buying power away from us because money printer go brr, making inflation worse because the value of the American dollar drops because there's more in circulation. Basic economic supply and demand with this kind of thing. God, Jesus fucking Christ. Almost every one of these policies in and of itself will fight inflation. And on net, the entire package most certainly will. Now that comes from the New York Times. Like I'm going to believe what you've got to say. Mike McGinnis, president of the Committee for Responsible Federal Budget. Oh, you're quoting her again. The best thing Congress and president can do to help avoid a recession is to help the Fed fight inflation. Oh, you mean the motherfuckers that caused the problem? Help the people that caused the problem fix the problem that they caused. Thank you, Joe Biden. That seems to be a recurring theme here. Lawmakers should be forced on legislation to fight. Yeah, lawmakers should be forced on legislation like the Inflation Reduction Act that could make the Fed's job easier. Improved tax collection, drug savings, and deficit reduction would put downward pressure on inflation and help ensure fiscal policy and monetary policy as rowing in the same direction. Despite the literacy shitfuck that just happened there. Okay, so you want to help the Fed to create the problem, fix the problem that they created by what? Improved tax collection. Tax collection. Wait. They're coming for your dollar. Holy shit. Drug savings. Oh, hold on. You mean the Affordable Care Act? No, that was a big failure. You mean Trump putting a cap of $35 copay on insulin that Biden took back and then did it again in a more ineffective way? Okay. The deficit reduction would put downward pressure on inflation and help ensure fiscal policy and monetary policy in rowing in the same direction. Again, how do you reduce the deficit when you print more money or borrow money from other places? Already, there's number 2 for the stupidity aneurysms. I feel like I'm going to have one hell of a headache, and I still got to do our talk tonight. With inflation and the national debt both far too high. No shit. Inflation's over 9%, hitting close to 10% at this point. National debt. Yeah, trillions upon trillions upon billions of dollars while we print more. Makes sense. It's long past time that policymakers stop adding to the debt and shift focus to the deficit reduction. Money printer go work. With inflation, we're here. The Inflation Reduction Act is exactly the same kind of page lawmakers should put in place to help the economy in a number of ways. Mark Zandi, chief economist, Moody Analytics, is named Inflation Reduction Act would lean against inflation over the next decade. It also adds a bit to growth growth of what? Government? Yeah. And it is more than paid for. More than paid for with tax hikes on large corporations and the well-to-do. While modest legislation, there is plenty to like in the legislation. Is there? Is there really? Because I don't feel like I'm going to like any of this. Well, maybe a few things. I don't know. The Inflation Reduction Act is what... Where is my mouse? There it is. The Inflation Reduction Act is what currently needs right now. Hoping to address one of our biggest long-run challenges, climate change. Again, how? What? Why? While making progress our biggest short-run challenge, inflation will, while protecting the most vulnerable. Jason Furman, I feel like you just need a swift kick in the ass. To put it mildly. Let's see. The Inflation Reduction Act is fundamentally different. Is it? I mean, it's calling for spending a lot more money for a lot of stupid shit. What's going on, politics, gaming? Let's see. It's smaller and contains no large upfront deficit increases. $760-something billion is not a large upfront deficit increase? Huh? Oh, is this like that same thing where Joe Biden was saying we're going to pump billions of dollars into this and there's going to be zero cost to you, and then all of a sudden things started going up? Yeah, there was zero cost to you, and taxes, they made it back hundredfold. Everything else. In fact, it would reduce the deficit by more than $300 billion over the next decade. Over the next decade! While we're hurting now, while cost of things going up now, it's going to take effect by cutting all that by $300 billion. Mind you, this is over $700 billion right now. But it cuts it by $300 billion over 10 years. I'm already feeling brain cells being lost by trying to listen to them justify this. It could end up saving more than that, since properly funding the Internal Revenue Service will likely generate substantially more revenue than congressional estimators believe. By coming after you. Yeah. But no, your taxes aren't going to be raised. Not yet. Yeah. The bill also creates new precedent for paying routine extensions on tax breaks. There is something both parties have routinely ignored in the past. Deficit reduction is almost always inflation reducing. Yeah, Wall Street Journal, you're right. But spending damn near $1 trillion to do it is not reducing the deficit. Money printer go burr makes more problems for what the money printer go burr spit out. I mean, anybody with half a fucking brain can tell you that. If I give you more of something, the value of that something goes down. If there are 2 million apples in the world, apples become a commodity, right? Now, if there are 20 million apples in the world, that commodity becomes less of a luxury, right? Same thing with the American dollar. The more you throw into circulation, the less it's worth. So here we go, throwing damn near $1 trillion, which, by the way, I'm going to have to look up to see exactly how much to date Biden has spent over Trump in 4 years. I'm going to look up into that, and we'll get back to that later on. But I'm done with all this. Like, this is Bullshit after bullshit after bullshit, saying the same dumb ass shit. We spend more money, and that lowers. Number one, that lowers how much we have to that we don't have to spend, or something like that. Can we get Kamala Harris to actually go through this and explain it to us? Because I think that would be funny. I mean, she calls it a big country attacking a little country, and that's basically the Russia-Ukraine war. Let's get Kamala Harris to do that. All right, there are very few places that are pushing back on this, and everything that it's right-leaning where you find these things. But over 230 economists warn Manchin's spending bill will perpetuate inflation. So money printer go BRRRR means that the value of the American dollar is lowered. Oh, right, yeah, that actually makes a lot of fucking sense. Okay, the letter sent to House and Senate leadership for 230 economists argue that the Inflation Reduction Act is expected to contribute to skyrocketing inflation and will burden the U.S. economy, contrary to President Biden and Democrats' claims. Makes sense. The Economist wrote the letter first obtained by Fox News Digital, and that U.S. economy is at a dangerous crossroads, and an aptly named Inflation Reduction Act of 2020 would do nothing for the sort, and instead perpetuate the same fiscal policies errors that have helped precipitate the current troubling economic climate. Senator Joe Manchin announced last week he reached an agreement with Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer on the $739 billion reconciliation package after more than a year of negotiations among Democrats. Now, Joe Manchin was fervently against this bill. Wonder what made him change his mind. Maybe we might find that out. Something about a pipeline going through his area and money handed to him to do that? Maybe. You think that has something to do with why he changed his mind? I think that's buying somebody's vote. I don't know. But I'm going to go ahead and say that, yeah, that's exactly it. And they bought his vote. By the way, they bought his vote to make it 50-50, so Kamala would say, yes, it passes. Hey, big country attack little country. Yay, my pronouns are she, her. Hey. God. I know it's a horrible Kamala impression, but fuck that bitch. All right. I mean, she did lock up people over their sentences to create free labor for the state of California. She got in her position by doing a little woo for Willie Brown. Yeah, look that up. And she's supposed to be the role model for all young women across America. Just blow a dude and you can get into my position too. I'm not giving a fuck. Go fuck yourself, YouTube. The economic experts point to the $433 billion in proposed government spending, which they argue would create immediate inflationary pressures by boosting demand, while the supply side tax hikes would constrain supply by discouraging investments and draining private sector of much needed resources. Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and agree with that. I mean, that's what I was saying. Money printer go BRRRR. What happens? Okay. They also write that of particular concern is the corporate minimum tax that they say will undercut efforts to restore functioning supply chains. In addition, the bill's prescription drug provisions would impose price controls that threaten healthcare innovation, creating a human health toll that would add to the financial woes that Americans are already experiencing. Would impose price controls that threaten healthcare innovation, creating a human health toll that would add to the financial woes that Americans are already. You didn't explain any of that, but then again, it's a little excerpt out of what they were saying. But whatever. A few of the notable signers, including Nobel laureate Vernon Smith, former chair of Council of Economic Advisors Kevin Hassett, former director of the Office of Management and Budget Jim Miller, and Robert Heller, former president of the Federal Reserve Board 1986 to 1989. I have no idea who the hell any of these people are. And I don't care. In addition, professors of the University of Chicago, Princeton University, Duke University, University of Virginia, Columbia University, and the University of Notre Dame, among others, were listed in the letter dated August 3rd. Oh, wait. So, a lot of the places that left-leaning, democratic, liberal, progressive, far leftist people clung to are disagreeing with this. Watch how they shut that shit down. Watch how they turn, right? Because they went to things like Princeton University. They went to, what was it? Duke University was one of the arguments, especially with abortion and things like that. The Pew Research things and things like that, that tried to back up their arguments, especially with all of that. Watch how they turn on them now, because they disagree with the narrative. It's going to happen. Watch it. Push it, as a matter of fact. Go on there. Talk about these things where they disagree that this will help reduce inflation. Watch how their attitude changes. Okay, the experts conclude that although they agree with an urgent need to address inflation, Manchin's bill is a misleading label applied to the legislation that would achieve the opposite effect. What's up, Flip? How you doing, man? Dude, we got to talk again. Sometime we got to set that up. Y'all are gonna want to be here later on tonight. We're doing the 7:30 show as well. I just wanted to go through this because lots of people were talking about this. The letter was sent to Schumer, Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, and House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy. Oh, you mean the shittiest people in government? Yeah. White House slams Republicans for trying to obstruct the passage of the $739 billion anti-inflation plan. What changed, Manchin? Schumer has touted Inflation Reduction Act as an immediate solution of inflation, which reviewed a new 40-year high last month. The Inflation Reduction Act will lower inflation, lower the cost of prescription drugs, close loopholes long exploited by business who pay no or little taxes. Yeah. Are they talking about the loopholes that were created under Bush and Obama? You think that's what they're talking about? Probably. Yeah. Yeah, they are. In addition, Biden urges Congress to pass the bill during a virtual roundtable Thursday. My message to Congress is listen to the American people, he said. Yeah, listen to us. Stop spending so much fucking money. Because if you can send $70 billion to Ukraine, you're taxing us way too much already. This is the strongest bill you can pass to lower inflation, continue to cut the deficit, reduce healthcare costs, tackle a climate crisis, and promote America's energy security and reduce the burdens facing the working class and middle class families. By printing more money and giving more money to the government to do more stupid shit, like climate crisis. It's going to lower the inflation, but don't worry, it won't cost you a damn dime. Yet. However, Republicans are less enthusiastic about more than $700 billion in spending and tax packages. Yeah, you're damn right. McCarthy told Fox News on Wednesday that Democrats have no plans to solve all the problems they created, and Manchin's bill is not the solution. No, it isn't. In the Senate, Mitch McConnell stated this week that most of his colleagues were somewhat shocked about Manchin's reversal of previous positions. Yeah, because they bought his vote. He continued telling Fox News that the bill was that the bill raises taxes and calling it, "You son of a bitch! Why did you do this?" Where was I? Stop refreshing. Okay. Somewhat shocked about Manchin's reversal, he continued telling Fox News that the bill raises taxes and calling it an inflation reduction bill is rather laughable. It's not laughable at all. Nobody's laughing about this shit. It's not a joke. This is our money you are giving to yourselves. Yet again. Democrats are catastrophically out of touch with what American families actually care about. Their approval ratings show it, and their reckless taxing and spending spree proves it as well. Oh my God, McConnell. I fucking agree with you. They're worried about abortion and your pronouns and should kids chop off their dick and balls. Meanwhile, we're worried about how the fuck we're going to pay our bills, motherfuckers, from the problem that you caused. Okay, Addison McConnell, you ever had your rights taken away by a bitch named Addison? That I got to show y'all that later on sometime. That shit's funny. I actually want to have the dude on the show. He figured out that Mitch McConnell's name is Addison Mitchell McConnell, and he just went off about that. The Senate is set to convene on Saturday to vote on a procedural motion to move the bill forward. It is still unclear if Senator Kristen Sinema, fuck you, Sinema, will support the legislation, and her vote is necessary for final passage of the bill under the reconciliation rules that would allow a majority to pass. Oh, it was her vote needed. Wasn't it a 50-50 split where Kamala said yes? I thought her vote was needed. Okay. Democrats previously touted a letter from 126 economists supporting Manchin's bill. Of course. But over 230 say go fuck yourself. Now let's find out what's really into this thing here, okay? Summary of the Inflation Reduction Act of 2020. Inflation Reduction Act of 2020 will make a historic down payment on deficit reduction to fight inflation. So what you're saying is more is coming, right? Like, is this the 20% down payment on like buying a house? Is this what you're talking about? Because I got a literal shit ton of questions here. Invest in domestic energy production and manufacturing and reduce carbon emissions by roughly 40% by 2030. Why does 2030 always keep popping up in every damn thing the government does? I mean, that's 8 years old. Why is that such a touted? Oh, wait. Isn't there an idea that's dubbed Agenda 2030? Yeah, look that shit up. The bill will also, I can't really look it up here because then we'll get hit with some shit. As a matter of fact, before we roll into this, guys, check this shit out. Our channel just had another episode taken down, episode 31, where it was titled, "It's Not Just America Fighting for Their Rights," where I had shown that over 230 protests across the globe have happened for their governments, we just went into it, right? Just kind of highlighted some of them that have happened across the world. That was taken down for violent extremism. Yeah, somehow I was inciting violence by telling you protests are happening around the world and have been since 2017. That was taken down. Of course, I put in an appeal for it, just saying, hey, there is nothing about this that would incite violence. I was just covering protests and looking into some of the things. Nope. Within 5 minutes. Within 5 minutes. Oh, your appeal's rejected. We're taking it down. So everything that I'm going to do from now on, I'm going to upload it to Rumble. We got a Rumble account. I haven't really done a lot with a Rumble account. I'm going to start doing that. Everything that we do on this channel is going to Rumble. As a matter of fact, I may even look into how we stream to Twitch, YouTube, and Rumble all at the same time, just for that reason. Yeah, that pisses me off. Like, we didn't get a strike against the channel. They're just like, well, we realize how you may not have understood how this happened, so we're not going to give you a strike, but we're going to take it down. Meaning, you didn't, but we don't like what you have to say. You didn't break any of the rules. We're just going to take down your shit anyway. Yeah. Let's see. Let's go back into this. This bill will also finally allow Medicare to negotiate for prescription drug prices, extend the expanded Affordable Care Act program for 3 years through 2025. Wait. Okay. Medicare to negotiate prescription drug prices, I agree with. So because there's no reason in hell that I should pay $500-$600 per Tylenol for over-the-counter strength that I could get at Walmart. There's no reason for that. Expand Affordable Care Act. Yeah, that went so fucking swimmingly. Remember, you can keep your own doctor. Right? Yeah, you can keep your own doctor. As a matter of fact, it's not going to affect you, but you have to have health care. Just buy ours and you'll be covered, even if your job doesn't give you health care. Just buy ours and you'll be covered. But if you don't, you'll end up spending more money in a penalty than if you would have just bought it. Huh? Okay. So we're coming back to that. Is that what you're trying to tell me? Because I got problems, son. The new proposal for the FY 2022 budget reconciliation bill will invest approximately $300 billion in deficit reduction and $369 billion in energy security and climate change programs over the next 10 years. That'll somehow reduce inflation. How? I'm going to keep asking that every time they bring up climate change. Additionally, the agreement calls for comprehensive permitting reform legislation to be passed before the end of the fiscal year. Permitting reform is essential to unlocking domestic energy and transmission products, which will lower costs for consumers and help us meet our long-term emissions goals. Stop with this green energy bullshit with wind and solar. Let us start pumping oil again until we can figure out how to fuck to get off it without it costing so much for us. Wait. Son of a bitch, I just solved your problem and I'm a stupid motherfucker from Alabama. What are you talking about? Top line estimates. Total revenue raised, $739 billion. Almost $1 trillion. Almost $750 billion. 15% corporate minimum tax. $313 billion. Prescription drug pricing reform, $288 billion. That I actually agree with. I did look into this. Other than the Affordable Care Act bullshit, I actually agree with that. IRS tax enforcement. Yes, you can look this up yourself. And I think it's in one of these little summaries here. IRS tax enforcement. Now, the IRS is usually funded with about $4 or $5 billion a year. They're giving like what? I think it was like $80 billion to the IRS to come after you more. Yeah, because you misplaced the number. You didn't do your math right. Now you got somebody pulling up in a damn limousine to tell you that you owe them money. Yeah, it's a new fleet of cars is one of the things that was in there for the tax thing. You can look this up. I'm not bullshitting you guys at all here. It's a new fleet of cars for these people, right? Like these people have to pull up and fucking Bentleys now to tell me that I owe them money. This is what's happening. Yeah, not gonna cost you a dime. We're not raising your taxes yet. But we are going to go after you for messing up on your taxes in the past. Carried interest loophole, 14 billion. Carried interest loophole. Wonder who let that loophole happen. Was it a certain guy who rhymes with Osama? Let's not talk about that. Total investments, $433 billion are given away. Given away. Energy security and climate change. $369 billion to fight inflation. Yes, Obama. That's where I was getting at. And my camera's getting all fuzzy again. Fix it? No, it's not fixed. Fuck it. I don't care. I'll fix it later on. But yes, it does rhyme with Obama. Or it is Obama. But yeah. Let's see. $369 billion to fight climate change. The earth is getting warmer, ladies and gentlemen, and that's causing inflation. Somehow. I don't understand. I don't get it. I'll never understand that. I'll never get that. Whatever. Affordable Care Act extension, $64 billion to fuck you in the ass again for affordable care. That's worse on the American people. Yeah. Total deficit reduction, 300 billion plus. Huh. So let's just not total revenue raised for this somehow over the next 10 years, by the way. We're spending 433 billion to reduce our deficit by 300 billion. I don't math correctly, but none of that makes sense. We're spending more than we're saving? How does that work? Not an economist. I don't know. You explain it to me, sir. Can we have Kamala explain it? Let's see how that goes. I feel stupidity aneurysm number 3 going on, and we're just like, what, 49 minutes into this shit? Damn. Enacts historic deficit reduction to fight inflation, lowers energy cost, increases cleaner production, and reduces carbon emissions by roughly 40% by 2030. There's that magic number again. Allows Medicare to negotiate drug prices and caps out-of-pocket costs to $2,000. Do you have $2,000 laying around just in case something happens anymore? Because, if something were to happen, let's just say if something were to happen 2 or 3 times, 3 would put us in a bind here in our household. Lowers ACA healthcare premiums for millions of Americans. How? make biggest corporations and ultra wealthy people pay their fair share. Oh, you scream that all the fucking time. Guess what? You scream that about Elon Musk. Didn't he pay the most taxes than anybody in America last year? But he's not paying his fair share somehow. Yet Nancy Pelosi can get away with insider trading and somehow be worth 10 times as much as her annual salary. And not a damn dime comes from her. I see a fucking problem. Already. Anyway, there are no new taxes on families making $400,000 or less, and no new taxes on small businesses. We are closing tax loopholes and enforcing the tax code by hiring 40,000 plus more IRS agents to come after you for making a mistake on your taxes. So the only way you can do that is either pay up or spend a lot more money fighting in court for you to be cleared of this. Because all they're going to do is say, let's choose this person. Let's go after this person. They owe us $20. Pay up. Of course, it's going to be more than $20. It'll probably be like 20,000 by it's all said and done. You know, penalties and things like that. They're coming for you. They're not raising taxes yet because it just now came into talks about raising taxes again. Yeah. Making $400,000 or less. How much does the president make a year? What was it? 396,000, something like that? 397,000 a year? So why is it 400 or less? Or 400 or more? Yeah. Okay. Let's see, which one is this? Closing tax loopholes in the Inflation Reduction Act of 2022. Senate Democrats are submitting a tax revenue proposal to the Senate parliamentarian for inclusion in the reconciliation that would raise approximately $450 billion to pay for deficit reduction, clean energy, and climate investments. Again, how does that do anything for the deficit or inflation at all? How? Oh, we get off oil? Oh, you mean the problem that you caused? Yeah, the problem that you caused by restricting drilling and fracking on federal lands, straight up banning any kind of private or public in California now. Banning Russian oil, which was only 3% of what we used. Yeah. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, have you noticed the big difference in fuel price now between unleaded and diesel? Like diesel hasn't even dropped a bit, but unleaded has gone down. Have you noticed that? Because usually in my area, it was like maybe 15, 20 cent difference between gasoline, unleaded and diesel. It's usually about 15, 20 cents difference. Now it's like $1.70, almost $1.70. Why is there such a big difference? Oh, that's right. That's right, because it's projected by October of 2020 or October of 2022 that we will go from where we stand now, being roughly 750, 760 million barrels in our strategic oil reserve, down to about 350. So why is unleaded going down and diesel not moving? Mind you, we're beating the war drums with Russia and China, where we're going to need that oil to continue our war effort. And we use 60 million barrels, roughly around 60 million barrels of oil a day here in the United States alone. Yeah. Although I am smelling gas at the pump again, which is amazing. Like when I'm pumping gas, I actually do smell it. I get a faint whiff. It's not like it used to be, where it was kind of overwhelming and you could tell, especially when they were filling up the tank. You could tell gasoline was pumping and it's just, ooh, okay, that's pretty strong. I'm smelling it again. Let's see. Where was I? 400 deficit reduction, clean energy. Okay, yeah. The proposals, two main components would rebuild the IRS and impose a 15% corporate minimum tax to ensure the wealthiest Americans and corporations cannot avoid paying their fair share of taxes. How about we look into Nancy Pelosi's taxes and see how she's avoided paying her fair share of taxes? Because 176,000 a year versus the hundreds of millions that she is worth. Things aren't adding up. Oh yeah, that's right. Insider trading. Yeah. Things are adding up. By investing 80 billion over the next 10 years for tax enforcement and compliance, so they can pull up in fucking Bentleys to say you owe me money. Yeah. Okay. The Congressional Budget Office estimates the IRS will collect $203 billion from your pocket. Not by the wealthiest. Come on. Do you really think they give a shit about that? Do you really think they're going to go after them? I mean, the Democratic Party has actually become the party of the rich. Do you think they fucking care? I mean, they pander to you by taxing the rich. AOC's dress at the Met Gala. Met Gala? Words, whatever the fuck that thing was. They become the party of the rich because they've become the rich. You think they really want to go after that? Or do they want to go after your pocket? Like they always have been. Like Biden has been doing since he got into office. Additionally, the proposal will impose a 15% domestic tax on approximately 200 largest corporations that currently pay less than that corporate tax rate. The provision will raise 313 billion. Oh, yeah. You mean the loopholes that Bush and Obama created for outsourcing American workers overseas? Is that what you're talking about? The shit we were screaming about back then? Like, this is a bad idea, and we don't need to let this happen. Oh, yeah, it'll work out for the American people. Perfect. So we're beholden to everybody else. It's working great, isn't it? The provision will raise 313 billion from your pocket. Every year, hardworking American families pay their taxes on time, while wealthy millionaires and billionaires avoid paying taxes they owe on federal government. That was proven to be 100% false, and even Elon Musk showed that. By the way, didn't they go after Trump's taxes and by those taxes while they tried to drag him through the mud? It showed that he actually paid more in taxes than he should have to cover the cost of next year, which would have turned out to be less than what he paid in. Anybody remember that? Or is that just my imagination? Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm going insane. Like this shit makes me insane. By the way, why aren't they going after Jeff Bezos? He owns the Washington Post. He owns Amazon. Why haven't they asked him for $6 billion to solve world hunger? Anybody? Crickets? Yeah. Every year, hardworking American families pay their taxes on time, blah, 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 blah. The IRS needs resources to tackle this challenge. Without these new investments, those at the top will be able to get away with more and more tax avoidance. That's not fair to the tens of millions of honest, hardworking taxpayers who play by the rules. I'm going to be completely honest with you. Last year was the last year that I actually had to really start itemizing things because I was going to owe money. Thank you, Joe Biden. Yeah, I never really did. Okay, a couple of times I've done it. I got a little bit more money back, but it wasn't worth itemizing and paying more in, tax preparation and things like that. It wasn't worth it to me, but I had to do it just so I didn't owe money. Yeah. Thank you, Biden. You fucking asshat mother. It's elderly abuse. Calm down. Calm the fuck down. All right, hold on. According to recent polling, nearly 3/4 of Americans believe the IRS should conduct more tax audits of large corporations and millionaires. Yeah, after you pump that into their heads to get more money to come after the people. We all know this is where it's headed. You can say whatever the hell you want to. Try to flame me for every bit of this statements that I'm making myself. Go ahead. Because when it comes time, I'm going to laugh at every single one of you and tell you, I told you so. Fork over your fucking wallet. The provision appropriates 10-year funding for the IRS as follows. $3.18 billion for taxpayer services. 45. Wait a minute. 100,000 million. Yeah, $3.18 billion for taxpayer services. $45.637 billion for enforcement. $25.326 billion for operation support. And $4.75 billion for business systems modernization. Basically cars for these motherfuckers to come get your taxes. Yeah, that's in there. The bill's 755 fucking pages. I'm not going through the whole damn thing on stream. I ain't got the time. We've got shit to do later tonight. A better conversation than this. These appropriated funds are to remain available until September 30th, 2031, and no use of funds is intended to increase taxes on any taxpayer with taxable income below $400,000. No. They're just going to say you misplaced the decimal. You owe us money. It's not going to increase your taxes. They're just going to extort it from you. The provision also provides $15 million of funds for IRS to prepare and deliver a report to Congress on the cost of developing and running a free direct e-file tax return system. No. I'm damn sure not. I'll go through TurboTax, or I'll have it prepared for me. Even though they use TurboTax, they ask the same damn questions that TurboTax uses. Yeah, those H&R Block people, Hewlett Packard, or not Hewlett Packard. That's a Jackson Hewitt. That's a thing. They use that, right? They use TurboTax to prepare your taxes for you. You could do the same thing. Yeah. But no, I don't want to go through your system because, again, you misplaced the decimal. The provision permits the secretary to exercise greater flexibility with respect to personnel, including certain direct hire authority. What does that mean? What does that mean? Well, Yeah, that means they're going to hire 40, what is it? 40, actually 46,000 new agents to march to your door and demand money. Now, you may get away with it this year. You may get away with it next year. Do you think you can get away with it till 2031? Yeah. 15% corporate minimum tax. The current statutory corporate tax rate is 21%. However, some 200 or more large corporations use tax loopholes to avoid paying the rate they actually pay below 15%. Well, thank you, Obama. Thank you, George W. Bush. We really appreciate that shit. I mean, you gave them those loopholes, you gave them those abilities, you gave them those subsidies, but yet you want to blame Trump for that. Stupidity aneurysm number 3. I may wind up dead before the end of this. Oh, wait, unalive. I'm sorry. YouTube, go fuck yourself. The corporate alternative minimum tax proposal would impose 15% minimum tax on adjusted financial statement income for corporations with profits in excess of $1 billion. Oh, yeah. Yeah. You think Amazon's going to be hit with that? What about Netflix? What about these oil companies? Y'all remember in when Hurricane Katrina happened that they were recording like $250 billion in profit? In profit. That means all bills paid, everything taken care of. They're still getting 200. What is it? 250. I think it was 250 million every quarter. Y'all remember that shit? Are they going to be hit with that? Because that was $1 billion a year. By the way, if they do, guess where this cost goes? Right? When they have to pay more in this, guess where that trickles down? Do you think they're going to take a hit in their pocketbook to help you, the peasant? Fuck no. Hell no. It's going to go into the cost of the goods and services that they actually push. The cost trickles down to you, the consumer. I know that was kind of fucked up. I tried to put like a Bane from The Dark Knight and Joe Dirt together. Didn't work right. I'm sorry. Just something I had in my head. It didn't fly. I get you. Whatever. See, corporations would generally be eligible to claim net operation losses and tax credits against the AMT, which is alternative minimum tax, would be ineligible to claim free tax credits against the regular corporate tax for the AMT paid prior years. To extend the regular tax liability in any year exceeds 15% in the corporation's adjusted financial statement income. That's a bunch of word salad to say, if you're not paying 15%, you will be. But you're supposed to be paying 21%. Stop it. We need to have an episode tonight. I cannot get us banned off YouTube. This provision would be effective for taxable years beginning after December 31st, 2022. So this year you're safe. No, this year you're not safe. You're not safe. Because when you file your taxes, they'll have that IRS army, which, by the way, Didn't the IRS buy hundreds of thousands of dollars in ammunition? Aren't they arming IRS agents? What do you think that's for? When they come knocking on your door saying you owe thousands upon thousands of dollars, what do you think that's for? Yeah. Okay, so this is like 4 pages. This fucking dumb shit. Summary of the energy security and climate change investments in the Inflation Reduction Act of 2022. Sounds so awesome that we're pumping money into bullshit. Both high energy costs and growing impacts of climate change pose a significant burden to every American. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. The historic investments included in the Inflation Reduction Act of 2020 will bring down consumer energy costs, increase American energy security, and while sustainably reducing the greenhouse gas emissions. Feel another aneurysm coming on. The combined investments of the budget reconciliation bill will put the U.S. on the path to roughly 40% emission reduction by 2030. The magic number yet again, and would represent the single biggest climate investment in U.S. history by far. Hey, let me ask you a question. How does the planet's rising temperature affect the inflation of over 9%? Pushing 10%. How does that affect? I mean, I don't get it. You know, money printer go brr. More money in circulation. Value of the American dollar go down. Climate change. The fuck? The Inflation Reduction Act lowers energy costs for Americans. Good. How does it do that? Oh, yeah. Yeah. By pumping money into the Green New Deal, you know, wind and solar, that is questionable at best. But nothing for nuclear. Even though there's a science article out where they actually safely reduced reactor size. Yeah, that's right. They safely reduced the size of these reactors to make them more affordable and cost worthy. Nothing about that. It's all solar and wind. Okay. Through policies that will lower price at the pump and on electricity bills, help consumers afford technologies that will lower emissions and energy prices and reduce costs that would otherwise be passed on to them. That is exactly what's going to happen. It won't reduce the cost, By the way, this wind and solar thing, I'm sure you've heard the argument before, and it does ring true. The wind and solar thing, especially for solar, the batteries that you have to mine, the lithium, which we can't get from China now. So where does that come from? Where's the biggest lithium deposit in the world? Oh yeah, Africa. So instead of blood diamonds, it's blood lithium. Is this what we're doing now? Yeah, but we care about black people, right? Oh. Is this bill racist? This bill is racist. This fucking bill is racist. You son of a bitch. I think I'm going to stop. No, I'm not. I'm not gonna stop. I'll never stop. Increasing American energy security through policies to support energy reliability and cleaner production, coupled with historic investments in American clean energy manufacturing to lessen our reliance on China. Oh, there's the lithium thing, right? Ensuring that transition to a clean economy creates millions of American manufacturing jobs and is powered by American made clean technologies. By killing Africans so we can strip mine Africa. Yeah, this bill's racist. Oh God. This is gonna horribly backfire. I know it is. I can't wait for that if I'm alive. Investments in decarbonizing all sectors of the economy through targeted federal support of innovative climate solutions. What? Oh, yeah, you wanna stop burning oil and coal. To hope to God that the wind still happens and the sun still shines. And hope like hell neither one of them shut down on the exact same day. You know, because cloud cover and sometimes wind don't work. Sometimes there's not even a slight breeze to turn a windmill. Yeah, when that happens, yeah, fuck your electricity. Guess what that means? You can't go to work because does your company run on electricity? Do you have lights on? Do you use a computer? Do you have to plug in a tool? What happens when you don't have it? You don't work. And if you don't work, you don't get paid. Now, again, we live close to a nuclear power plant. Our electricity bill is incredibly manageable every month. Even through the inflation, it hasn't gone up that much. Why? Return on investment. The money pumped into creating that nuclear energy is less than the energy that produces for the people that nuclear power plant services. Holy shit. Like it works, right? Yeah. Damn. Okay. My green screen's fucking up all over the place, but whatever. Invest in decarbonizing. Where was I? Oh, yeah. Invest in decarbonizing also. Yeah, I read that. Focuses on investments into disadvantaged communities to ensure that communities are too often left behind will share in the benefits of the transition to a clean economy. In other words, fuck your refrigerator. Fuck your air conditioner. Fuck your light bulb. It's all going off of coal. So, yeah. We need to get you off that. We can add wind and solar and go to electric vehicles that the grid can't even handle on fossil fuel. Supports resilient rural communities by investing in farmers and forest land owners to be part of growing climate solutions and by ensuring rural and communities are able to better adapt to a rapidly changing climate. How? Because these farmers need diesel to run their tractors. You think a Tesla's going to make a tractor? Yeah. I'm really going to have an aneurysm doing this. Lower consumer energy costs. The bill will provide a range of incentives to consumers to relieve the high cost of energy and decrease utility bills. This includes direct consumer incentives to buy energy efficient and electric appliances, clean vehicles, rooftop solar, and invest in home energy efficiency, with a significant portion of funding going to lower income households in disadvantaged communities. Again, this bill is racist. That just proves it. I mean, what? Who were the lower income households in the disadvantaged communities that they've been screaming about for the past decade? I mean, you're saying you want to pump more money into that. Let's see if my community around here sees any of that shit. Bet it won't. Bet me it won't. I'll bet 1 year's salary of my pay versus 1 year's salary of Biden's pay that nobody around here sees any of that shit. $9 billion in consumer home energy rebate programs focused on low income consumers. Words are hard today. To electrify home appliances and for energy efficient retrofits. Yet IRS going, remember that? Remember that? The whole IRS thing? Remember that shit. 10 years of consumer tax credits to make homes energy efficient and run on clean energy, making heat pumps, rooftop solar, electric HVAC, and water heaters more affordable. You son of a bitch. Should I have waited for the HVAC and water heater that we replaced in this house? Should I have waited for that? I feel like I should. You son of a bitch. $4,000 consumer tax credit for lower middle income individuals to buy used clean vehicles, and up to $7,500 tax for new clean vehicles. Oh, that $60,000 car. Yeah, we'll give you $7,500 back at the end of the year. Meanwhile, you're still on the hook for the rest of the money. Or prices go up. Oh, but you can get one for $35,000. Okay, $35,000. Guess what? You're still on the hook for what, 2027? Can you afford that? Because I damn sure can't. Can you afford $27,000 plus interest? Okay, so $25,000 for a used vehicle. Okay, with that $4,000 off, it's still what, 19 to 21,000? Can you afford that with the taxes? Or not taxes. I'm sorry, interest. I sure can't. $1 billion grant program to make affordable housing more energy efficient. Maybe don't create slumlords, and that wouldn't be a problem in the first place. Just a thought. American energy security and domestic manufacturing. This bill will support energy reliability and cleaner energy production, coupled with historic investments in American clean energy manufacturing. This includes over $60 billion to onshore clean energy manufacturing in the U.S. across the full supply chain of clean energy and transportation technology. These manufacturing incentives will help alleviate inflation and reduce the risk of future price shocks by bringing down the cost of clean energy and clean vehicles and relieving supply chain bottlenecks. Production tax credits to accelerate the U.S. manufacturing of solar panels, wind turbines, batteries, and critical minerals processing, estimated to invest $30 billion. And there's your cue. Right on. Fucking cue. That's what I was saying, right? Which, by the way, China is the world's leading battery manufacturer. They control the supply of lithium, the most of the supply of lithium. Without them, where's the biggest reserve? Africa. So now we're gonna go. We're gonna go rape Africans for the lithium. That's what we're gonna do. $10 billion investment tax credit to build clean technology manufacturing facilities, like facilities that make electric vehicles, wind turbines, and solar panels that cost a fuck ton more to produce than nuclear, which has a higher energy output and more reliable. $500 million in Defense Production Act for heat pumps and critical minerals processing. Not even going to go into the stupidity of that one. I don't have the willpower to do so. $2 billion in grants to retool existing auto manufacturing facilities to manufacture clean vehicles, ensuring that auto manufacturing jobs stay in the communities that depend on them. So, weren't you guys bitching and complaining? Like, you were saying get new Teslas. Teslas are great cars. Then you were bitching and complaining and trying to boycott and ban Tesla because Elon Musk wanted to buy Twitter. And now you're giving him more money to do that? Wait, no. No, because the cutoff was like 200,000 cars a year or something like that within that bill. That's the cutoff for the grants. So, maybe Ford, Nissan, they'll get that. Well, Nissan is manufacturing for Nissan has come to the United States more than other countries now. So, but they'd still get it anyway. Fuck it, whatever. It's not like we're giving $70 billion to Ukraine to protect their borders, right? You're taxing us way too much. Up to $20 billion in loans to build new clean vehicle manufacturing facilities across the country. Loans? Or is that the word we should use? Because you said before you're just giving it away. I don't think loan is the word for that. $2 billion for national labs to accelerate breakthrough energy research. Not a damn bit of that is going to nuclear because of the stigma behind nuclear energy. Oh my God, what if something were to happen? Look at the atom bomb, man. Yeah, you remember, what was that? God damn. I'm blanking on the name. The reactor that melted down in Russia. Oh, goddamn. That thing. You know, that Chernobyl. There we go. Chernobyl. What about the nuclear reactors that melted down in other places? Oh, you talking about what? 4 or 5 instances in history where that's happened versus the thousands upon thousands of nuclear reactors running in just the United States alone that are perfectly fine. The atom bomb, man. The atom bomb. Czar Bumba. Y'all are too stupid to talk about nuclear energy. I'm just not y'all. But there is a huge difference between enriching uranium for weapons of mass destruction than using said uranium for energy production. Look into it. For the love of God. I got something in my eye. Decarbonize the economy. Zero carbon. Yeah. What are humans made of? Shit. Investments in the bill will reduce. That has nothing to do with it. I just wanted to throw that out there. Investments in the bill will reduce emissions in every sector of the economy. Sustainably. I'll stop here in a second. Sustainably reducing emissions from electricity production, transportation, industrial manufacturing, builds, and agriculture. Tax credits for clean sources of electricity and energy storage, and roughly $30 billion in targeted grants and loan programs for the state and electric utilities to accelerate the transition to clean energy. Tax credits and grants for clean fuels and clean commercial vehicles to reduce emissions from all parts of transportation sector. Grants and tax credits to reduce emissions from industrial manufacturing processes include almost $6 billion for a new advanced industrial facilities deployment program. Why are you making it so fucking hard to say now? To reduce emissions for the largest industrial emitters like chemical, steel, and cement plants. You know, the things we need in everyday society to make society run. Yeah. You know, the steel for the frame of these said electric vehicles. Yeah. Yeah. The cement that is used to put up buildings. Make your driveway. Yeah. Fuck my life. Tax credits and grants for clean fuels and clean commercial vehicles to reduce emissions from all parts of the transportation sector. So cabs and buses are going to be electric now? Oh, wait, that's already happening. In New York and California are calling for rolling blackouts. No, Michigan is having rolling blackouts. Planned blackouts. Grants and tax credits to reduce emissions from industrial manufacturing process, including almost $6 billion for a new advanced light industrial facilities deployment program. Oh yeah, I read that one already. Over $9 billion for federal procurement of American-made clean technologies to create a stable market for clean products, including $3 billion for the U.S. Postal Service to purchase zero-emission vehicles. The U.S. Postal Service, a failed branch of the federal fucking government to handle your mail. Remember the debacle of 2020 with the mail-in ballots and everything like that? You remember the whole hell that they raised where they stopped a stimulus payment going to you until that bill or until the amendment to that bill was passed about adding more money to the federal U.S. Postal Service? Does anybody remember that shit? I sure as hell do. $27 billion in clean energy technology accelerator to support deployment of technologies to reduce emissions, especially in disadvantaged communities. Bullshit. Disadvantaged communities aren't going to see that because you don't give a shit about the disadvantaged communities. I mean, Trump did. He made policies that were actually putting investments into areas like this. And because of that, this community that I live in that is disadvantaged, and a lot of them are welfare or Section 8 housing. There's about a third of the people that live on this block actually own their homes. Everybody else is Section 8. But yet a lot of shit's going up in this area. And that's all due to Trump. It's not Biden. Just because it's happening this year, not Biden, because that's trickle down shit. I'm in a backwoods hillbilly part of the fucking country, and we're seeing that now. Guess what? All the other shit, the shit that's already happened because of Trump, happened in bigger areas. Now that we're seeing it, yeah. Okay. Can't be because of Biden. That motherfucker ain't done nothing but fuck us in the ass every time he gets the chance. Methane emissions reduction program to reduce the leaks from the production and distribution of natural gas. Are we going to fund butt plugs for the cows so they don't fart? You remember when that was part of the climate change thing, that the cows fart too much? Who was that? I know it was Greta Thunberg that started that, but who was it? Wasn't it AOC that was going around saying in a longer form version that cows fart too much, they produce too much methane for the atmosphere, so we need to stop cows from farting? Yeah, that brainless fucking harlot. Building on regular engagement with EJ leaders from across the country, this package includes over $60 billion in environmental justice priorities. Oh, like social justice? But this is environmental justice. Are we changing our name? We're not SJWs anymore. We're EJWs now? Is this a thing? Are we literally moving the goalpost yet again? Because the SJWs haven't done a lot of social justice here lately. They haven't won any wars that they've fought for social justice. So we're just going to move on to the environmental, like that's a thing, right? Okay. To drive investment into disadvantaged communities, bullshit. Some of the highlights include the environmental and climate justice block grants funded at $3 billion in investments, community-led projects in disadvantaged communities, and the community capacity building. The blah blah fucking blah. We care about the black people. That's what they're trying to say. Yeah. We care about the black people by saying we're going to give them more money, but you'll never see it. Neighborhood access and equity grants funded at $3 billion. Support neighborhood equity, safety, and affordable transportation. What? What? Hold up. $3 billion to go to these neighborhoods. Is that going to stop gang violence? Is that going to stop Chicago from shooting themselves up damn near daily? Is that going to stop New York from these people going around? You remember the shopping cart killer? What about the duffel bag killer? How about that dude that shot people on the subway? Not him multiple times, but there were multiple instances of that. How about that dude that we highlighted here? We showed when we were talking to Daz about the crime rate in New York. How about that dude that just literally ended the life of a homeless person just cuz? Is that going to stop that? Is that what that money's for? No. That money's to make sure that they can get around, that they can do that. The subway shootings will happen. They'll just be electric subway cars. Wait. Aren't they already? I mean, it's stupid as hell to have a coal-fired subway engine underground. What the fuck do you mean? Grants to reduce air pollution at ports, funded at $3 billion, supports the production and installation of zero-emission equipment and technology at ports. So are you trying to tell me this is at ports? Yes, I understand that. But are you trying to tell me that our shipping boats are going to be electric driven soon? Because that sounds so stupid. I mean, this starts at the ports, but yeah, you get my point. 1 billion for clean. Could you imagine? Could you imagine how dumb that would be? You charge up your batteries, go halfway across the Atlantic Ocean, and have to have somebody come out there to charge up your batteries again. Like, how would you even do that? Or do they just replace the batteries with electric helicopters? I don't know how this works. I don't even think they thought that far ahead. To be honest, 1 billion for clean heavy duty vehicles like school and transit buses and garbage trucks. Yeah, like that sounds like a good idea. School buses. Yeah, let's turn them into electric vehicles. So they die. By the way, those batteries are only good for what? 5 years before you have to replace them again? Are you going to continue to fund that? Are you going to continue to buy out these hundreds of thousands of dollars in batteries a year? Probably millions of dollars of batteries a year, depending on how big the fleet is. Are you gonna do that? Are we going to do that as taxpayers? Or is the schools and the transit buses and the garbage disposals or the garbage companies, are they going to be on the hook for that money? Questions need to be answered. Some of the previous mentioned programs that focus on disadvantaged and low-income communities are also important for environmental justice. Just like the Technology Accelerator and Consumer Home Energy Rebate programs, in addition, many of the clean energy tax credits include either a bonus or set-aside structure to drive investments and economic development in disadvantaged communities. They use that saying a lot, but if you read the 700, like I haven't even gone through all 755 pages yet. I haven't even done it. And it's been, what, 2 days? At least 2 days that I've been reading it. And I still haven't reached the end of it. More than 20 billion to support climate smart agricultural practices. So how exactly? Because that's, maybe I haven't gotten that far into the bill, but nothing about that was mentioned. You talking about electric tractors that don't exist? 5 billion in grants to support healthy, fire-resilient forests. What? Forest conservation and urban tree planting. Fire-resilient forests. Oh, wait. Hold up. How about just clean the underbrush? You know, the shit that actually catches fire? How about just do that? Tax credits and grants to support the domestic production of biofuels and to build the infrastructure needed for sustainable aviation fuel and other biofuels. Okay, maybe I can get behind that. But your biofuels that you're talking about, the return on investment isn't that good. It's not. I mean, the best thing would maybe if you did something like the game Satisfactory, where you take a whole bunch of trees and limbs and stuff, and you cut them down into like, you just basically shred the shit till it's pulp. You smash it together really, 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 really tightly, and you get like discs. that you throw into a furnace. Let's go back to steam, basically. 2.6 billion in grants to conserve and restore coastal habitats and protect communities that depend on those habitats. Like what? Climate change, ladies and gentlemen. Climate change. Never mind how it's going to happen. Never mind that climate change. I'll be labeled a climate change denier, and I don't give a shit. Never mind that climate change doesn't exist. Let's just throw money at it. It does exist. But it's a cycle that the earth has gone through historically since its creation. It gets hot, and then it gets cold, and then it gets hot, and then it gets cold. It's a cycle the earth grows through. Shit. Every decade they scream, oh, we got 10 years to do this because you remember when they were saying by 2010 we'll be under the water? Like the ice caps will melt and most of the livable land will be under the water. Do you remember when they were touting that bullshit? What happened? I mean, I'm not underwater yet, and it's 2022, motherfucker. What happened? Almost like you're lying. Okay, so there's some things in here that I can actually agree with this one. Finally empowers Medicare to begin negotiating directly for the price of prescription drugs in 2023. Currently, our drug pricing system works for corporations and middlemen, not patients. You're right. Thank you, Affordable Care Act. You did that. You helped that. Once the government started sticking their hands and trying to subsidize hospitals and things like that, trying to get their cut of the money, that's when cost of medications like your Tylenol that you can get over the counter became from $1 a pill to $500 a single pill. The new negotiation policy will ensure that patients with Medicare get the best deal possible on high-priced drugs and pay cost sharing for those drugs based on Medicare negotiated prices. Oh, yeah, that was that $35 cap on insulin that Trump did, and Biden said, no, that's a bad idea. Let's do it a less inefficient way that will actually cost more money. Stupidity. You gotta love it. Caps Medicare patients out of pocket cost at $2,000 per year with the option to break that amount into affordable monthly payments. I'm actually okay with that one. You only pay out $2,000 a year in monthly payments. Okay, $2,000 a year, 12 months. You're talking, what, $180 a month? And after $2,000 a year, it's pretty much free for you. I'm okay with that. However, it's free for you, but it comes from taxpayer money because our government does nothing but take money from the poor to give to the rich. It's a reverse Robin Hood shit going on. There is no cap on spending. Today, there is no cap on spending for prescription drugs. Seniors buy. Wait, what? Today, there is no cap on spending for prescription drugs seniors buy from pharmacies. The proposal ensures that devastating diagnosis, like cancer, will never again mean paying tens of thousands of dollars for out-of-pocket drugs for one drug. Out of pocket for just one drug. Oh, wait, cancer. Didn't our president say he had cancer? Or he has cancer? Didn't he say he was going to end cancer? He was going to find the cure for cancer within his presidency? I'm seeing connections. My hair is all kinds of fucked up right now. Institutes a new inflation rebate under Medicare. Drug companies should not be empowered to take arbitrary and unjustified price increases on products that are not changing year to year. You're right. Thank you, Obama. The proposal requires drug companies to rebate back the difference to Medicare if they raise prices higher than inflation. So if it costs more than 10%, you have to pay it back? Yeah, that don't sound shady at all. On both sides, none of that sounds shady. Raising the price of potentially life-saving drugs. So the people who's already struggling can afford them. And if you raise it too high, well, you got to pay that shit back. I mean, I agree with that, but higher than inflation? I thought you're supposed to reduce inflation. Not cause more of it. Puts financial responsibility on insurance and drug companies to keep the price down. Patients are paying an exorbitantly high price, while insurers and manufacturers rake in huge profits and negotiate secret discounts on agreements. Wait, what? You're telling me that they're doing back alley deals and behind the curtain deals with each other to rake in huge profits that were started under Bush and Obama, that we were warning you about. Well, they were warning you about because I was still a mindless fucking zombie at that point. I didn't know what the fuck was going on, nor did I care. But they were warning you about that. Now it's a problem, huh? Yeah. Experts agree that the current Medicare Part D framework lets both insurers and drug companies off the hook for high drug prices. In fact, the system incentivizes higher drug prices by allowing insurers to pay less when the drug prices go up. Bill changes that dynamic by re-incentivizing both manufacturers and insurers to keep drug prices down. It puts them on the hook for higher drug prices and spending to tamp down artificially high prices jointly set by big pharma and pharmacy benefit manufacturers. I agree with that. The problem is, you guys did that. Most of these motherfuckers in office that are voting for this were the ones that instituted those policies. Stabilizes Part D premiums for seniors and Medicare. The proposal holds annual premium growth to existing levels so that insurers and manufacturers can't pass their new financial responsibilities on to seniors. Oh, I agree. They're already hurting. They're under poverty level with inflation being through the fucking roof, and you're causing more. Provides free vaccines to seniors. Oh, wait. Finally makes all vaccines free for Medicare for seniors, the only population for which vaccines were not already free. Now that's a straight up lie. That's a straight up lie. I'm going to go ahead and tell you this. My smallpox vaccine was not free. Yeah, I got it. That was before this monkeypox bullshit popped up. I got it last year when I heard about Bill Gates saying there's going to be another pandemic. Take smallpox, for example. Ring-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ding dong. Yeah. Yeah. I'm doing it. I did it. And that conversation with my doctor was incredibly funny. Pretty much He took it too. He got it too because of what I was showing. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, I had to pay for that one myself. I had to pay my copay and the cost of that. So no, it wasn't free for me. Shut the fuck up. Closes the rogue secretary loophole. Huh? The proposal would close a loophole in a House passed bill that would have allowed a bad actor Republican secretary to refuse to negotiate or negotiate fewer than the maximum number of drugs. The bill now requires the secretary to negotiate the maximum number of drugs each year to extend that number of drugs qualify for negotiation. I love how they did a party attack in that. You see that? Now, if it was a Democratic secretary, I guarantee you that wouldn't exist. But because it's a Republican, that, by the way, wasn't a Republican when that shit was instituted. I love that little sneaky attack. Expands premium and copay assistance on prescription drugs for low-income individuals. Currently, the low-income subsidy programs under Medicare Part D is fully available to all seniors earning less than 135% of the federal poverty level. Huh? They're earning less than 135%. Oh, okay. So if you're what is that? The Social Security and all that, if you're less than 135% above the poverty level, it's free. But I thought that it made it fully available to all seniors. So now it's just all seniors over a certain level, under a certain level. Partially available to seniors earning less than 150,000 or 150% of the federal poverty level. The bill eliminates partial subsidy status to give those seniors a full low-income subsidy under Medicare Part D. You're going back on your shit now. Oh my. Just in the summary alone, like just going through this, not just like breaking down the entire bill or anything, because 755 pages, go fuck you. We'd be here all day. I got better things to do right now. I got a more interesting topic tonight, but just going through this, are you starting to see the stupidity? Like this. How is this supposed to fight inflation in any way, shape, or form? All this money we're giving away, all this money we're throwing at the problem. How does this stop the money printer from going BRRRR and us sending $70 billion to fucking Ukraine? $15 million for gender studies in Pakistan. That was the omnibus spending bill. You remember that? The almost 6,000 fucking pages that they had like 22 hours to read before voting or some shit like that. Less than a day to read before voting. Right. Agricultural Committee provisions in Inflation Reduction Act. Let's see the stupid shit you've got. U.S. Senator Debbie Stabby now. Hold on. I think that's the best name I've heard. Debbie Stabby now. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but damn it, that's fucking hilarious. Okay, Debbie Stabby now. What have you got to say? Okay. Stabby Now. Let's see what Stabby Now has got to say here. Nearly $40 billion to tackle the climate change crisis, lower costs, and create good paying jobs by investing in agricultural, forestry, and rural communities. Over $20 billion to give to farmers and ranchers tools they need to address the climate change crisis, while existing conservation programs oversubscribed by as much as 3 to 1. These funds help farmers and ranchers implement and expand conservation practices that reduce potent greenhouse gases like methane and increase storage of carbon in their soils and trees. Wait, aren't we supposed to reduce carbon? Greenhouse gases like methane. So we are going to stop the cows from farting. Oh, let's see how this turns out. Incentivizes sustainable practices like optimizing fertilizer and use expanding cover crops like that are a win-win for conservation and for producers' bottom line. Incentivizes sustainable practices like optimizing fertilizer use and expanding cover crops that are a win. That was a lot of word salad to say. You're not going to get fertilizer and you're going to produce shitty crops. Expands public-private partnerships to support locally led conservation and doubling the investment on farm and ranch land. Right. $14 billion to lower the cost of families and support good-paying clean energy jobs in rural communities. Supports rural electric cooperatives in the transportation to cleaner energy, which will dramatically reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Huh? How? Wait. Oh, you talking about, okay. From the vehicles. Like, how are we going to run the tractors for this shit? God damn. Helps rural communities, farmers, and small businesses owners invest in renewable energy and more energy efficient. Makes the single largest investment in infrastructure for homegrown biofuels to decrease our dependence on foreign oil and lower the cost at the pump. Now that's an idea. That is an idea. Farmers create their own biofuels. That is an idea. But again, tractors are on diesel right now. Can they create their own diesel gasoline? Do you want them to create their own diesel gasoline? I mean, they grow food. They're not bioengineers. I guess they actually would be with that. But they did. Oh, okay. You get my point, though. $5 billion to protect communities from wildfires while combating the climate crisis and supporting the workforce through climate-smart forestry. What? Invest in forest health projects on both public and private lands and equips firefighters and rural communities to be more resilient to wildlife. Invest in climate-smart forestry to boost carbon sequestration. I think I said that right. Plants, trees, and urban communities and prioritizes underserved forest landowners. Oh, you mean you're gonna help them clear out the bush so we don't have another wildfire every fucking year like the one raging in California? Is that what you're getting at? Now, one thing that I did come across this bill, and it's in this bill. I forget. I'm gonna have to look back up and go through it again. It's 5:00 here, almost 5:30. I gotta start getting everything ready for the show at 7:30 tonight. But one thing that they do go off into this, and one thing that wasn't covered by any of these summaries, was the fact that they're pumping money into Native American reservations and things like that to bring them electricity. Like, I've been on Native American reservations. You're not going to sit there and tell me they don't have electricity. You're not going to sit there and tell me that they don't have that shit. Now there's hundreds of millions of dollars going to Native American reservations for the things that they already have, for the things that they already enjoy, just along with the rest of the country. You can't tell me that they don't have this shit. I've been on multiple. By the way, didn't the Native American reservations want to govern themselves? But we're throwing money at them. No, I kind of agree with it. Let them do their own thing, you know? I mean, we did kind of do a lot of damage to bring this country into fruition. I get you. I understand. You want to do your own thing. Good on you. Do your own thing. But I don't think my tax dollars should go for your shit. I mean, if you want to be self-governing, my tax money shouldn't be for you to self-govern. I'm just saying. But that's in there too. You guys can look that shit up too. I'm still not done with 755 pages. I've read maybe what is it? I'm on 137. I'm on 130 page 137 of this. And this is what, for all the intents and purposes, for everybody yelling and being pissed about people like Lauren Boebert and Marjorie Taylor Greene, who actually spearheaded this shit, where she started calling for people to come in to Congress and Senate and start voting, you know, for the vote to be actually counted and on record. He's trying to spearhead at least 5 days for these bills to be read and understood. Like they didn't do that before. No, they didn't. It's just, here's the bill. What's the title? Agree. That. Disagree. That's what they did. For decades, that's what our country's been doing. And you wonder why we're in fucking trouble. But yeah, you want to bitch about Marjorie Taylor Greene because, Q, she spread Q conspiracies. She's a Q nut. Yet she's trying to make sure that these motherfuckers actually work. And y'all are too goddamn stupid to even try to listen. Okay. Y'all do your thing. See what happens with the midterms. Oh, one thing I actually wanted to bring up here. I just now thought about this. I was going to do this for a different thing, but what is it? Republicans are pouty. Does that bring it up? Oh yeah. Politico. Y'all have to see this. Unsolicited advice for the pouty Republicans who stiff reporters. Basically, what they go on to say here is the title didn't cover it at all. But what they're actually talking about in here is Republican parties saying, hey, you need to kind of turn away from the mainstream media that's straight up lying to you, that we all know about. Start listening to what your politicians are saying. Start going directly to the source. for your information. And Republicans across the country are actually doing so. Now, I'm not Republican. I'm not Democrat. I'm politically fucking homeless, and I'm doing it. But guess what? You're a whiny little bitch if you don't listen to the mainstream media. You're a whiny little bitch if you don't let the mainstream media tell you what to think and how to feel. That's from Politico. It's an opinion. But you're a whiny little bitch if you don't listen to the mainstream media, ladies and gentlemen. How you feel about that shit? I was going to bring that up later. We will bring that up later on a different episode. We'll dive into that shit because that is fucking hilarious. But yeah, that's just the summaries of these bills. It doesn't go into any real detail about any of that shit. And yeah, I know my hair is getting long. Look at that shit. I need my barber comes back from surgery next Monday, so I'm gonna definitely get my haircut then. But everything that I covered tonight is just like a drop in a fucking bucket of actually what the bill is, and the bill is complete fucking horseshit. It really is. Eventually, I'll go through the whole thing and mark down on every single thing where what they're saying, what they're talking about, and how it's all bullshit. Kind of like the PACT Act, that everybody's so up in arms about. Yeah, we need to do that too. But 5:30. We will be back on in about 2 hours with a hard conversation. One that we're going to have to do a lot of wordsmithing to get around. And yeah, we're going to have Right Side Lesbian and Freely Ashley join me and Abel Garcia to talk about the problems with the LGBT community. Now, I'm not going to say LGBT. I'm leaving out the TQIA plus 2 QRS squared kind of shit. And we're going to dive into why. We're going to have that talk. And this is something that, like I said, we're going to have to skirt around. This is something that's just going to be a near and dear subject. And I'm pretty sure that a lot of people will catch on to this. And not a lot of people, but I'm pretty sure it will be shunned. We may even get clips taken out of this shit to try to shame and flame us for shit we've said. But I'm gonna go ahead and get ready for that. Get some things together for that, and we'll be gathering everybody up around in about an hour and a half to get the framing in and mic check and everything done, and for me to fuck it up once again. Because that's what I always do. But yeah, that's going to be a thing. I got to get all that going. So I'm going to go ahead and jump off here real quick, start working on that. And we'll see y'all again roughly in about 2 hours for this very heavy conversation we're about to have. So ladies and gentlemen, remember this. You have a voice, and it's important. Please, sit down. We need to talk. Take care, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll see you in a few hours.